Hi everybody, how you doing? Wait, back up. Let's get my producer over here. See if we can get him in frame. I don't know. Walter Wannabe. Anyway, I just want to say have a happy holiday to everybody. And what we're gonna put together here now for you to watch is a couple of greatest hits from the year. We had a really good year. Mark Farner. I tell you, I think he's barely sober, to tell you the truth. There, I did it again. Mark Farner we interviewed. Carmine Appice. Recently, Alan Hewitt. Andy Bassford, who played with Sting and Shaggy. Just an unbelievable year in interviews and things like that for this channel. We got some great things coming up next year. Stay tuned. In the middle of this little greatest hits thing, I will have my commercial. The channel needs your support. Some of the stuff we got planned we can't do without some finances in. So we've got t-shirts and hoodies and more t-shirts and more hoodies and all sorts of stuff. Website is soon to come in January. I have a young lady, beautiful young lady, working on it right now. Anyway, from myself and Walter Wannabe, my barely producer. Anyway, happy holidays, everybody. Enjoy the little greatest hits show. If you look up Carmine Appice, so if you look up on Wikipedia, Carmine Appice, it'll say that you are one of the most influential rock drummers in history, and that is absolutely true. It lists Phil Collins, Ian Pace, John Bonham, Neil Peart as they all attribute some of their playing to you. By the way, I've been teaching for 30 years, and I've been teaching out of your book.
Oh, great!
Realistic Rock Drumming. What a great book that is! For beginners, for intermediate, for advanced. What a great.
You know the cover of the book. It's
the green cover.
It's a painting. Let me show you something. Okay.
All right.
I used to have me with drums on there, right? So
yeah.
I gotta turn the correct light on here for you. Which one is it? One of these. There you go. So then I said, I can't keep changing the drum book covers every time I change, endorsements. So
right.
Can you see that?
Oh, that's great. That's the cover.
That's the cover. It's an oil painting.
You know, I'm going to put a clip of the actual book so they can see it right next to this when I put.
Right. That's the oil painting. My girlfriend in 1970 did that oil painting.
That's fantastic.
And they used that as the first book on that was ever printed. They used a variation. They did their own variation of that, And then finally, I just said, you know what? I'm just going to take a good picture of that cover, of that oil painting, and use that as a cover, And that's what I did. And that's been the cover for the last 8-9 years.
And I'm going to say this straight out to any other teachers that are watching this show or that watch it. If you're not teaching out of the Carmine Appice book, you're missing something. It is just one of the best rock books to teach out of. It just is.
Yeah, well, it was the first.
Yeah.
It was one of the first, and like I was the first to do clinics and all that. I had the whole rock clinic market to myself for many years.
So Sting and Shaggy.
Oh,
on that, okay. So Sting was one of those people because of Stuart Copeland. I dig Stewie, and
oh sure.
And I always felt, there's always a couple of people. I have a list of, I got to tour with Dick Wagner, and I got to do some work with Nils Lofgren and Marshall Crenshaw. Through Dick Wagner, I got to work with some of these people. But it was there's a few people on the list I don't know if I'll ever get to work with. But Sting was one of them until he played with Vinnie Colaiuta. Then I would have to put my head down in shame if I walked in the room. Vinnie is, I'm not allowed to say his name without genuflecting. So, Vinnie Colaiuta.
Okay, so you're a Sting fan. All right.
So how does the Sting and Shaggy gig come along? Did you play on the entire album or a couple of tunes or?
Quick answer is, well, there's no quick answers with me, I guess, but I'm not on the whole thing. What happened was this. The guy who produced the album, Sean Pizzonia, is also named Sting. And Sean is from Crown Heights, I think. And out of all the producers I've worked for, Sting, the Sting International is the name of his sound system. So he's Sting International, and or as I call him, the real Sting. The other guy being the guy who used to play bass in the Police. Anyway, meanwhile, the British Sting is thinking about doing a reggae record. I mean, he's the reggae rocker, right? Maybe it's time to do a real reggae record. But in any case, he was ready to do a reggae record, and it turned out that the guy who's managing now, is Martin. I don't remember his last name. It's a funny name. Anyway, Martin had been an A&R guy at whatever label Shaggy was on. I think it was Virgin, when he had the Oh Carolina, his first big hit. Martin had been the guy from the record company kind of babysitting that. So Sting did what a lot of people in America do when they want to do their reggae track. Can we get the right guys without going to Jamaica? And that's generally when Andy's phone rings. That's how the Natalie Merchant record happened. That's how the Rihanna record happened.
Right.
That's how this happened. So anyway, Martin suggested to the British Sting that he meet the American Sting. So I'm watching social media and I see Sting and Sting out at Shaggy's house in Valley Stream listening to records, and you see them hanging out and doing stuff. Unbeknownst to us, what they were listening to was the 11 tracks we had recorded for Shaggy a couple of years before.
Wow.
In the midst of the session, Sting gets a phone call from, I guess, Martin. No, the other Sting. And he says, "Hey, I'm doing the new Sting record." And we're going, yeah, that's great. That's great. Not thinking we would have anything to do with it. And then, and then Sean, the American Sting says, "Yeah, I'm doing the record, and he wants me to use my guys. That means you guys." And we go, Sting wants us to play on his record? Sting, the bass player? Sometime in 2017, I guess, we went to Sear Sound, which is this great studio in New York, and we did 4 or 5, maybe 6 songs. I don't remember. For Sting, and he was there. And he walked in, and he looks exactly like you want him to look. He's tall, he's great looking, he's in immaculate shape. Whatever his yoga thing or his diet thing.
Was he very involved in recording as far as giving direction as to what to play, or leave it up to you, or what was he like?
Well, he'd already liked what we played. So one of the things that he did was this Andrew Lloyd Webber tune called, I think, "Love Changes Everything." It's one of the bonus tracks. And I think the thinking was it was going to be a Christmas song. So we're going, okay, Union Scale Christmas song. Yes. Please. So that didn't end up happening, but it did end up on the CD. And he came in and he heard what we came up with, and he really liked it. He had nothing to say about it. He had a couple of suggestions for Joshua, but they weren't big, like maybe put this note here or something, very minor tweaks. And he was real happy with it. And he went in the vocal booth and he sang live with the band, which was a thrill.
Wow.
Every take he sang.
Wow.
And you could have printed the vocals. He really is that good. There's nothing artificial there. The guy really knows music. He really knows the bass, and he can really, really, really sing.
Musicians on Couches, the Drum Mission now has products. We have t-shirts. We have hoodies. We have this t-shirt that I'm showing you somewhere. Maybe I'm just talking over it. I don't know what I'm going to decide to do. Where on the front you get the coffee mug. Notice the bass clef handle. The graphics, I had help with that with the great Paula Robinson. Give her a call if you need some graphic work. Pay her a lot of money. The back of the t-shirt, as I'm showing you somewhere, I don't know where, is the phrase drinking coffee. Musicians on couches drinking coffee. We also have a t-shirt with just the logo, and it's a polo shirt kind of, just the logo of the drum mission. Take a look at that. And we also have my favorite, the hoodie. The Musicians on Couches Drinking Coffee hoodie. Yes, 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 yes. Send your information, sizes, and how many you need to the email address that I'm posting here. That's right. The hoodies will be selling for $39.99. And the t-shirts will be selling for $19.99. That is right. And if you order just one, I got to put a $5 postage and handling thing on it. If I got to ship it to you, if you're local, I'll deliver it. If you order more than one, forget the postage and handling. It's on me, baby. All right. Support the channel. We need your help. I thought this product pretty much looked cool. You might like it. Order your t-shirts today. Thank you. As I watched a bunch of clips of you with Ringo from a while back, and if you mentioned that you sold it out faster than they did.
I didn't mention that, but I knew that he knew that. Somebody else had mentioned it to him. But Ringo is a prince of a guy.
He is a cool guy.
A real cool guy. And he just got to the point with the fans where he couldn't take any more. He's got such a sense of responsibility. He just came right out and did a YouTube thing and said, don't send me anything else. I'm not signing another damn thing and all of this. And that's really kind of how he was. And I wouldn't know. I mean, to be every time you turn around, even if he puts a hat and sunglasses on, Glenn, he looks like Ringo with a ball cap and sunglasses. He just can't disguise himself. So I felt sorry for him with that in mind. But when we got to Tokyo, I was sitting along this table where Ringo was sitting in the middle. We're doing a press conference. There's all these press people out in front of us, and we are up on the podium with this long table with Ringo in the middle, kind of like the Last Supper, with the guys down the side. So this little gal comes up from one of the magazines, and she says, I would like to ask Mr. Farner a question. So I stand up, and she said, what is it like playing with Beatle? And I said, well, let me tell you something, honey. Ringo puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. And he gets up, he stands up. Thank you, brother. He comes over and he gives me a big hug. He's embracing me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just because I recognized him as being a man, just being like one of us.
Yeah.
And that was really a feather in my cap right then, because that's how he wanted to be treated,
Right.
Everybody else. But
in all of his writings that I read, that's what he talks about. Just being he loves being a musician, loves being the rock star, but he wants to be normal. Just to have that normal life. And which he was very much denied. They all were. The four of them were stuck together. They were, treated like heroes or gods in some way, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. They had an anointing on them.
Yes, they did. They did, for sure.
It's kind of like Elvis with that anointing he had. It was time. And you could tell by, the way things were happening and the speed that things were happening for them, and the acceptance and the screaming girls, and you could tell.
Yeah, man, come on.